Good evening. I am Charles Beasley. I will be your instructor this evening. Or as Instructor Campbell usually calls me, I am the finance guy. So I am happy to be back with you this month and this evening. And I think we have a very, very good topic to talk about tonight. Topic or the subject of the lesson is adjusting your budget to challenging times. And we've talked about budgeting. We've talked about different things with budgeting to kind of touch on the points that we've talked about before. Big sections of your budget. You have your income, which is what you have coming in. You have your expenses. That's what you are paying out. You have your savings. That's what you're putting away. And you have your investments, what you have working for you. So those are the four big sections of your budget. Should be the four big sections of your budget at least. And with your budget, you have to be diligent with it. And I had to look up the definition of diligent because I wanted to kind of hit home with that. And what Webster says is diligence is persistent exertion of body or mind. In this case, it would be your mind. We want you to be persistent in managing and handling your budget. It is an active document. It's a living document. And over the course of time, things change and things have to be adjusted. But you need to be the master of your budget. You need to know all the ins and outs, the ups and downs of your budget. That will make you a better financial planner and a better financial manager of your budget and your finances for your household. So a couple of important things about managing your budget. We have to level up our expenses. And when I say level up our expenses, what I mean is there are going to be some expenses that you get a bill every month for. And it's just clockwork. Every month you get a bill for this, a bill for that. But then there's going to also be bills that you get bi-monthly or quarterly or even semi-annually or annually. And what you will need to do in leveling up your expenses in your budget is split that out. Split that out. You can split that out by month or by paycheck or whatever. But split that out. If it's $100 every 2 months, the bill, what you want to do is split that out to $50 a month. Or if you get paid, or you want to do it by paychecks and you get paid bi-weekly, you can do $25 every other week. But level up your expenses so that your budget can stay as even keel as possible. What you want is a very even keel budget. You don't want a lot of noise, a lot of fluctuations, things like that. You want to have an even keel as best as you possibly can. Of course, things happen and you have to deal with them. But if you plan accordingly, I guarantee you'll be successful. Another thing, identifying the anomalies quickly and plan accordingly. One area of concern where there's anomalies in your budget, it will be in your budget, is utility bills. Utility bills fluctuate. Utilities fluctuate. So your bill may be $100 this month. It may be $200 next month. It may be $300 a month after that. But identify those bills that you know will fluctuate and plan accordingly. As well as other than utilities, there are seasonal bills like lawn care. You only pay for lawn care while your lawn is active. When it goes dormant, most people don't have a lawn care bill. But, you plan accordingly. Like I said, level up, spread it out, make sure that you have it accurately captured, and you should not have any surprises in your budget. And I would be remiss to bring up this topic, being that it's this time of year. This is the time of year for bonuses and income tax returns. I cannot stress this enough. Have a plan for your bonus and or your tax return before you get it. Because if you have a plan, then it's less likely that you're going to spend the money somewhere where you didn't intend to spend it. Or next thing you know, you look up and the money's gone. If you have a plan, 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to finish your plan and actually be able to do what you plan to do and spend the money in a very accountable way. But most people, when they get their bonuses and their income tax returns, they do one of 3 things. They either pay off, so they take the money and pay off bills that they have to decrease their debt, and of course that helps your budget. They also pay down. They pay on some bills to pay the bills down so that they can pay them off quicker. And then they also pay it forward, whether that's, in taking the money and investing it in something and purchasing an asset, or using the money for something that they had planned in the year to pay it off before they get to it, like maybe a vacation or something like that. They want to pay it off and it's done before the vacation gets there. They usually do something like that. So have a plan for your bonus and or your income taxes. So, like I said, the title of tonight's lesson is adjusting your budget to challenging times. And right now, inflation is high, groceries are high, everything is high. On average, across the board, I read an article, everything is up between 30 and 40%, if not more. Everybody's been talking about the price of eggs and things like that, specific things, but right now everything is up because of inflation. And because of that, that presses on your budget because you only have so much money coming in. So when your expenses go up and you still have the same amount of money coming in, you got to make some adjustments. So I'm going to give you 3 things about how to adjust your budget when needed so that you may be successful in managing your budget in difficult times. Now, I'll give you these 3 things and we are gone. So first principle that I wanted to give you is identify and know whether each expense is a necessity or a nice to have. When you fill out your budget and you complete your budget, your expenses, go through and each line item of your expenses, identify it as a necessity or a nice to have. Reason why you want to do this is it allows you to be able to prioritize when times get tight and prices go up and your money doesn't change. It lets you know, okay, now I can look at these are the things, the nice to haves are what you cut first normally. And then after the nice to haves, you can prioritize the nice to haves from top to bottom and you cut accordingly to make sure that your budget stays intact. And you can do this as well with your shopping as well. When you go to the store, you have nice to haves, things like, desserts, different things that may be hobby items or things that may be luxuries. These things are nice to haves. These are the things that normally get cut first out of people's budget. But knowing that up front allows you to be a better manager of your budget. So, like I said, as you have your nice to haves, and then you have your necessities. So once you have gotten through your nice to haves, let's say you have cut your nice to haves out of your budget now. What do I do next? Now I don't have any more nice to haves. I only have necessities in my budget. Now what? Well, next what people do is they start to cut in their investments. So just, I guess, an example, you are investing a certain amount of money. Let's just say you're investing $500 a month in the stock market, or in a mutual fund. You know, during the tight times, and after you've cut all of your nice to haves out your budget, you may want to cut that down from 500 to 250. You know, during that particular time. So to be able to free that money up for your budget, to make sure that your budget stays intact. A lot of people do that, and what I would say is, before you cut your investments, talk to an educated professional, financial planner, someone in the financial world that's familiar with investing, and they can give you some good tips and things to do as far as managing your investments and what best to do and how best to do it. Because there are a lot of things you invest in that have minimums, or they have certain obligations and stipulations. You want to make sure that you are not causing yourself any liabilities like fees or anything like that by changing your investments. So I would say consult educated professional before you decide how you want to reduce your investments during the period of times where it gets tight. Last but not least, the third principle is ensure that you have contingency plans in place. I mean, life happens, right? To all of us. You can make the best plan in the world, but when life happens, you're gonna have to adjust. A very close, I guess, story to me. Me and my wife, when we bought our first house, we said that we were going to be in that house for 7 years, and after 7 years, we were going to upgrade because we expected our family to grow, and we expected to be able to upgrade after 7 years to something bigger. Well, 7 years came, and that was right at 2008, right when the housing crisis happened. So that 7-year plan became a 15-year plan because it just was not feasible for us to sell our house, or we wasn't able to sell our house during that time period during the housing crisis, because everything crashed. Prices for everything crashed on the housing side, and we had to wait for the market to recover before we could even think about making a move. So life happens. What you need to do is you need to make sure you have contingency plans in place that will allow you to get through a tough period of time or a tough stretch until you get to better times where you can afford to do more and do exactly what you initially planned to do. I mean, there's a lot of examples out there. You know, I have friends that years ago they had cars and things like that, and they needed tires for their car. Well, they couldn't afford new tires, so what they did was they got used tires to get them through until they could get to a point where they could buy new tires. Same thing as far as, you know, if you have a major breakdown at your house, your AC unit goes out, they say you need a whole new unit because the coil's bad, you might want to look at doing some patchwork on the coil to get you through for the certain amount of time until you can get to a point and make a plan for you to purchase a new AC unit, which is not cheap, by the way. So those are the three things that I wanted to talk to you about tonight. And let's rehash. 1, identify your nice to haves versus your necessities in your expense column, in your expense section of your budget. This will help you to prioritize what to cut when times get tight for you. Secondly, when you've done that and you're down to your necessities, look to cut your investments. And like I said, seek educated professional advice before you do that, so that you do it the right way and the best way. And 3, ensure that you have contingency plans in place, so that if something happens, you have a plan of how to adjust to whatever the life experience you had until you can get to a point where you can execute your original plan. All right? Again, my name's Charles Beasley. Thank you for your time, and I wish you the best in managing your budget and your finances. Good night.